Hey, welcome back everyone. It's time for another red hot covered call video. Hey, I'm excited, but I have a lot of things I want to talk about today. I want to talk about my weekly with Microsoft that didn't go so well. Still made money, but did not go as expected. Hey, look, I have entered the world of cash secured puts with Nike. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about NVIDIA. Yeah, NVIDIA. Very volatile stock. I usually don't talk volatile stocks, but we're going to talk about that today. And hey, look, I do appreciate you coming to my channel. And hey, bang that like button. When you bang that like button and I see those likes piling up, man, it jacks me up to do another one of these videos. If you like me doing these videos once a week, twice a week, hit the like button. Because look, I don't get paid. I'm not a professional. I love telling my story, and I love that somebody out there is actually learning something from my experience. When I see the like button hit, it jacks me up to do another one of these. So please hit the like button. Guys, let's talk, okay? So what's funny is I got a comment. I have to tell you this comment. This guy last week, he left this great comment. He said, "Man, your motto should be, why say in 100 words what you can say in 10,000 words." I laugh at that because look, man, if you know my story, if you've been watching my videos, okay, you know I love talking. I love telling my story. And this is how I present my videos, man. Okay? I come at it just straight talk. I'm not professional. Don't get paid. You're getting a look into my world. And I hope you learn something from it. In fact, I know some of you are learning something from it. And that's why I keep doing it. Okay? So, you know, if you don't like my presentation, man, unsubscribe, okay? It's fine with me because I've got countless people out there that want to hear my story and they want to hear all the things that I do with covered call writing, just so they can get a little morsel of information and confidence and motivation to do the strategy and maybe make the ends meet. Okay. So, hey, look, I love the comments, but you know what, man, if you're going to be negative, I'm sorry. I'm doing it for the cats that want to learn something. And hey, again, if you don't like my presentation, unsubscribe. Got no problem with it. But a lot of you cats out there do like it. So let's get to it. That comment made me chuckle, man, because I absolutely understand. I can ramble. And I've rambled here. Let's move on. So let's talk Nike, guys. Let's talk Nike. No, we're going to talk Microsoft. Microsoft first. You know, if you watch my last video, if you've watched all my videos on weeklies, okay, all you have to do is search weeklies under my channel. You'll see them. And I love talking Microsoft. Why? Why do we love Microsoft? Why do I love Microsoft for weeklies? They have volume. They have open interest. You know, millions and millions of shares traded daily. And they're a tech company with a higher trending chart. Come on, it's Microsoft. They pay a 3% dividend. Got more cash than most companies are worth out there. Great company to do weeklies. And if I get stuck owning the stock, I'm owning Microsoft. I got no problem with that. Okay? It's a part of my core holding in my portfolio anyway. Okay? Love Microsoft. Well, what I do with Microsoft is simple on my weeklies. I, with no hesitation, buy Microsoft when I think it's a good spot. I write usually it's the 1 deviation out, 1 week out, or 2 week out covered call. Usually I can pick up 1.25%. It's been as little as 0.9%. Okay? But again, the strategy is crumbs. My tasty crumbs. I want to pick up that crumb every 10 to 14 days. We're going to extrapolate that out to the 25 weeks, maybe 30 weeks a year. I'm beating the market hand over fist. Okay, that's the strategy. And here is what I have basically bought into. Regardless of where I buy in, regardless of where I'm at, if I keep doing this time and time again, it will all level out to where I make money every year on Microsoft. Okay? In a good market, obviously. Well, what did I do? I bought Microsoft at 69. I think I wrote my first 69.50. Turned out to be a 1.2% trade. Got the dividend. Microsoft fell. fell down to 67 something. I wrote a 68.50. Okay? So right there, that should be a red flag, correct? My buy-in is 69. I've written my second covered call on this purchase of stock, and my strike price is below my purchase price. So what's going to happen if Microsoft rallies? And by the way, look at Microsoft's stock price here. Yeah, I'm going to have to deploy an exit strategy if I want to keep my shares. Or I could have my shares assigned and I collect what I collect. Well, in the case of Microsoft, that's exactly what happened. I find myself not making as much money because I bought it back. I took the obligation off the board, paid $4. Okay, I didn't want my shares going into this weekend, have them assigned. I decided to buy it back, only paid a penny. My overall profit for Microsoft turned out to be very small on this trade. Not happy. But at the end of the day, it was green. So for me, a green trade is a green trade. Now, why am I talking about this Microsoft trade? It's because I want to just, I just want to mention something. What I was about to do, and this is where I want you to learn something. I decided instead of, buying back the option here, right? It's clearly in the money. Clearly, I'm going to have to buy profit back and do one of two things. Immediately sell the shares. Because remember, when I buy it back above my strike price of $68.50, okay, that's real money in the stock. I'm adding to my cost basis, right? Now I need to make two decisions. I either find another option that pays me the difference plus some, or I immediately sell the shares. Money out, money in. What's the difference? The premium I paid, right, versus the premium I got paid. Okay? So I had to make a decision. And my decision was I was just going to, instead of finding, another option out here, I just went ahead and I went ahead and sold the shares. What I was about to do, though, is I was going to buy a January 18, I think it was a 70 for $4. And, I'm sitting there thinking, man, that $4 is juicy. I'm thinking about it. The overall trade from this point to January would be 8%. And I'm thinking, man, I'm really thinking about doing that trade. I got on the phone with one of my trusted friends, and I said, hey, how would you approach that? And point blank, he told me, he said, look, over the next 6 months, do you think you could take that Microsoft money and make more than 8%? And man, I got to thinking, I could actually take this same money over the next month, just write monthlies on Microsoft, collecting 2% and make more than the 8% I would have made had I just went ahead and wrote this covered call. So for me, I'm showing you this in the video because I want you to make great decisions. Make the great decision. Don't hastily do these things. Okay, so for me, I clearly was going to have to buy the option back if I wanted to keep my shares. I did that. I thought about it, and I sold the shares immediately. I have relieved my obligation to Microsoft, only made a total of 1%, I think 1% on this trade, but my money's back in my pocket. I have decisions. I have options, right? So now I can move forward. Whereas if I had sold the January 2018 for $4, that money would have been locked in for just an 8% gain for the next 6 months. I personally think I can make more than 8% in the next 6 months. Hey, knock on wood. I don't have a crystal ball, but I think I can. And that's why I elected to sell my Microsoft shares, and we're going to look for a better trade there. Okay? Hey, let's talk Nike. Nike represents a great weekly covered call for me. I've told you the story of Nike. I use it for covered calls, weekly covered calls. But boy, I've watched Nike over the past couple years. They trade in a range. Nike's one of those great companies that has the volume. It has, it's a great S&P Dow company, billions in revenues, dividends. Everybody loves it. Upward trending stock. But the one thing that I've noticed with Nike is, really since it hitting an all-time high, I think last year, man, it trades in a range of about 58 to 50. That range, I could probably go back on my chart and see, but it trades in this range of 58, and let's just say 51. So when I write my weekly covered calls, I'm writing these one deviation out, collecting, that little 1%. And as I'm doing this week over week over week, my expectation is nothing more than a nice 40 cent, 50 cent, 60 cent crumb on that week. And hopefully I can make that 1%. And if I can do that week over week, I'm killing the market. Cash on cash, I'm killing the market. And I've done that with Nike. It's been great. Well, I've been studying, and I finally decided to get into the cash secured put game. Okay. And one of the things, and by the way, with cash secured puts, I'm going to do a video on this. You need to have level 2, minimum level 2 access. Covered call writing is level 1. That's easy to get. Just apply for it. They're going to give it to you. I think they will. Level 2 is a little bit more. I got level 2. I actually got all the levels now, but you're going to have level 2 access, I believe, at minimum to do a cash secured put. And the basics behind this is, it's sort of the inverse of a covered call. You have to have the cash, and the cash gets placed to the side. Okay? When you sell a cash secured put, basically, okay, you're basically telling somebody, out there in the greater world, hey, look, I have, in the case of my cash secured put, I wrote a 52 on Nike. I've basically said, hey, look, world, I will buy 100 shares at 52 for this time frame. And I'm going to set that $5,200 off to the side. And if you want to take that bid, if you want to be able to put Nike shares at me at $52, I'm going to charge you $1 for it. And that's the premise of the cash secured put. I know most of you know that, but for me, being covered call centric, never even thought about writing cash secured puts. Well, guess what? I'm in the game. And that's what I did. And the one thing that I did with Nike is, writing cash secured puts, the idea here is we're only making premium. That's it. There's no stock appreciation to be made. It's only premium. Meaning, I put it out there that I will buy somebody's shares at 52 and they pay me $1. And in the time frame, okay? So if any point in the contract that they elect to assign me shares, I have to buy them at 52. So the idea here is, if this is 52, right, and Nike's up here, as the stock falls, my $1 option, right, as it gets closer to 52, gets more valuable. And as that $1 option veers away from 52, it gets less valuable. Similar, the inverse to covered call writing. Okay? So in this case, I wrote a nice little 52 on Nike. I think Nike over the next month, 52, it's, that's sort of support for it. It's going to move higher. I was able to sell that nice 52 strike, 1 month cash secured put for $1. And yes, I used a limit order. That bid and ask was selling for it was selling for 85 cents and like $1.10. I mean, it was wide. The bid ask spread was wide. But I put in $1 just to see if somebody would take it. Took me a little bit. They took it. So right now, I'm on the clock for a 52 strike, got paid $1, and it's for 30 days. So, again, what am I looking for? I'm looking for Nike to not hit 52, right? Stay right above it. We keep our premium. We keep our money. And we're able to do this time and time again. So I've essentially added to my cash printing machine because now I'm going to use cash secured puts. But here's the deal. I'm not going to use stocks that I don't know. I'm going to use the same stocks that I've been using for the entire past 2 years writing covered calls. Because guess what I'm going to do? And you already know it. If I own Nike, if I have to buy Nike at 52, what's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to write a covered call. Man, it is the total bookend of this strategy, this conservative strategy of mine. I'm going to buy the stock, write the call. If I, have my shares taken away, I might write the cash secured put, get the premium. If it goes down, I get assigned the shares. I'm going to write another covered call. We're going to do this, back and forth, collecting premium. That's what I do. I collect premium. Okay. And sure enough, I'm going to get into this more. What we're looking for here with the cash secured puts is we want that stock at its support line, right? And you're going to write that cash secured put a little bit below it. You've seen Cautlin's videos on YouTube where that's what they do. It is almost interesting that writing cash secured puts for me looks like it might actually be easier to pick great companies for cash secured puts because Wall Street, look at this, 82% institutionally owned. They're going to buy these stocks at their support line. So guess what? I'm going to be looking to sell a cash secured put a little bit off the support line. Now, hey, look, I'm a newbie to this. I'm going to be learning, but we're going to be talking, okay? I am going to share my stories. Just as I do with my covered calls, I'm going to share my cash secured put stories as well. So, hey, look, let's finish this up. I told you I was going to talk about NVIDIA. It's not about NVIDIA. What it's about is, one of the criticisms I get with covered call writing, people always say, yeah, you limit your upside. You limit your upside with writing covered calls. And what I'm going to tell you is this. That is one of the biggest fears. There's two fears, right? One fear is that you write the covered call and you have an NVIDIA situation. You write the covered call here, right? You collect that juicy premium and boom, it rockets and it gets away from you and you feel like you've lost out on the profit. And then there's other situations where you write the covered call and the stock tanks and you're left holding the bag. Okay? So there's risk. But what I wanted to show you is, look at my Bristol Myers and look at Kindscraft. Look at these stocks here. Look at how they just travel nice and easy. The point is they don't get away from you, they don't jump off the chart, and they don't fall off the table. That's been my strategy. Pull up a Nike chart, it trades between 58, 52, usually goes up to that, comes back down, right? Bristol Myers, same thing. It's going to go to 56, going to come down to 52. I play great stocks with great, what I believe to be great low. They have a little bit of volatility, but not too much. So I don't feel like they're ever going to get away from me, right? Win is one that I love trading, and it does rocket. Win is one of those volatile stocks. But you know what? That's only one of the 6 and 7 stocks that I use. And so the point that I want to make for all those naysayers out there that listen to my covered call videos, yeah, I get it. There is upside risk where I could lose upside. And as we're going in this great bull market, I'm missing all this upside potential. I will tell you this. I've always told you cats to be diversified. The covered call stocks that I use only represent maybe 10% of my portfolio. Okay? So I'm not missing out on any bull market rally. However, with these stocks that I use for covered call writing and now cash secured puts, this represents a portion of my portfolio that I am using to generate that weekly and monthly cash income. And if I can generate, if I can beat the market with cash on cash month over month, hey, I'm not going to worry that an NVIDIA rockets 40 points or I missed an Apple run from 100 to 150. Okay? Because look, Apple and NVIDIA is only going to represent 5% of my portfolio anyway. Right? If you're going to be diversified, you should, if you have a portfolio where you can diversify, really, you should not have investment vehicles that represent more than 5% of your portfolio. Maybe 7, maybe 10% if you really love something. But man, you got to be diversified. So even if I owned an Apple and I was writing calls and it got away from me, it's only 10% or 7% of my portfolio. Okay? So again, we need to be diversified. We need to have great stocks that we're working with here, and we just need to make great decisions. Hey, look, Guys, I hope you learned something in this video. I don't really know if you did or not, but that Microsoft discussion is one that I want you to think about. You know, I was about to make a decision that was going to lock me in, right? That $4 juicy January 2018 option, boy, I was almost going to bite on it, right? The reality is I was going to bite on it for $4 and have Microsoft fall from 70 and maybe go back to 67. And at $4 premium falls down to $2. And I buy it back and I write another. That was the real thinking. But the reality is Microsoft's doing great. Market's doing great. I probably am stuck with that trade for 6 months, and I was going to make 8%. I'm going to go on a hunch that I can take that same money and create more than 8%. I'm going to risk that 8% with possibly making more. Is it greed? No. It's the confidence in my skill that I can do this time and time again. And it'll be fun to watch. That's what I want you to learn from this video. Don't make rash decisions. Think about it. Maybe even call a trusted friend and bounce it off of them. You know, why not? Doesn't hurt nothing. And I didn't make a bad decision. Hey, I'm sitting cash. Risk is off the board. Hey, look, I hope you enjoyed this video and look forward to more cash secured puts video. It is the bookend to our cash printing machine. Writing covered calls in a bull market to sideways market, writing cash secured puts in a neutral to downtrending stock. Hey, what better way to have a great conservative strategy? And I know you can do it. Hey, look, do me a favor. Bang that like button if you like the video. Ring the bell, man, so you get that email notification the next time I do one of these videos. And share the video, man. Share the video. Let people know we're talking the good word of the covered call strategy. Hey, look, until next time, I hope all your covered calls are profitable.
All I see is signs.